Before you close your eyes tonight, I need you to stay with me for just a moment. Just one moment. Because something happened today that you didn't notice. Something no one is going to tell you about. Something that didn't make it onto your gratitude list. That didn't cross your mind while you were doing the dishes, folding laundry, or trying to wind down after a day that went on way too long. Today, God kept dangers away from you that you never even saw coming. I'm not speaking poetically. I'm speaking literally. There's a moment in this prayer, and you'll know exactly when it arrives. When something is going to loosen in your chest. Something small, but real. Like when you finally remember to take a full, deep breath after hours of shallow breathing without even realizing it. So stay. Lie down. Close your eyes if you want, and let this prayer be the last thing your heart carries before you fall asleep. You made it to the end of this day, and that alone is more than you realize. It wasn't easy. It probably wasn't the day you planned. There were probably moments when you felt invisible, overwhelmed, tired in a way that sleep alone isn't going to fix. The kind of tired that gets under your skin. That climbs into bed with you and is still there when the alarm goes off. And yet, here you are. That means something. It means the grace that held your day together was stronger than everything that tried to pull you apart. It means the hand that covered you this morning never let go. Not once, not through any of it. It means that while you were dealing with the visible, the work, the worry, the longing, the bill that's due, the person who never called back, something invisible was happening at the same time. Quiet protection. The route you took without knowing you were being rerouted. The words someone almost said to you and didn't. The turn you almost made, and someone, nudged you to choose differently. The moment you were on the edge of breaking down, and somehow you didn't. That wasn't luck. That was covering. So before you ask for anything tonight, before you bring your list, your fears, your unanswered questions, I want the very first thing that rises from your heart to be gratitude. Not performative gratitude, not the same rehearsed list of blessings you run through on autopilot. Real gratitude. Specific gratitude. For the invisible. For the protection you received today without even knowing you needed it. Let's pray together. Father, tonight I come to you with a heart that is learning to be grateful for what it never saw. And that's hard. Because being thankful for what's visible is already a challenge. Being thankful for the invisible requires a kind of faith I don't always know I have. It requires believing that you were working behind the scenes of a day that so often felt ordinary, or worse, just plain hard. But I believe. I choose to believe tonight, because your word says in Psalm 91:11, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." All your ways. Not just the spiritual ones. Not just the moments of prayer or worship. All your ways. The commute to work. The aisle at the grocery store. The conversation that almost blew up and didn't. The highway. The waiting room. That moment at 2 in the afternoon when everything felt like it was falling apart, and somehow you found solid ground to stand on. Every single one of those moments had covering. And tonight I want her to know that. Not as theology, as present reality, as the kind of truth that makes your body relax, your shoulders drop, your jaw release the tension you didn't even realize you'd been holding all day. He turned away what she never saw coming. Let that land. Don't rush to the next thought. Stay with it for a second. He turned away what she never saw coming. That means the danger was real, that it existed, that without God's covering over her day, things could have turned out differently. I'm not saying that to frighten you. I'm saying it so that gratitude stops being vague and becomes something concrete. You didn't make it here on your own. You were carried. And tonight, before you sleep, you're going to give thanks for that, area by area, moment by moment, until your heart is so full of recognition that there's no room left for the anxiety that tries to creep in when the lights go out. Father, I start here, with the simple fact that she is alive, that she is lying down in safety, that her lungs are still expanding and contracting without effort, that her heart is still beating with the rhythm you set in place. That is not a small thing. That is everything. Thank you. Now let's walk through the day together. Father, tonight I thank you for the health she had today, not just for the absence of serious illness, but for the ability to move, to function, to make it through the day in the body you gave her, because she didn't think about it. Nobody does. We only notice our bodies when they hurt, when they fail, when they beg us to stop. But today, even through the exhaustion, even through that tension in her shoulders that just won't quit, even through the headache that showed up somewhere around 3 in the afternoon, her body kept going, and you were in that too. There was protection over her health today that she never saw. Maybe she woke up this morning and didn't feel her best, but she pushed through. Maybe something she ate or drank could have done more damage and didn't. Maybe the tiredness she feels right now is simply the honest weight of a real day, and not a sign of something more serious. Because the more serious was kept away, he turned away what she never saw coming. And tonight I ask that she receive this gratitude in her body, literally. That as she listens to this prayer, every muscle still holding on to unnecessary tension begins to let go. That her shoulders drop, that her jaw unclenches, that the feet that carried her through today rest without guilt. Her body was an instrument for an entire day. It deserves rest. And you, Father, you who created every cell, who know every system running inside her without her ever having to think about it, you take care of this sacred vessel that is the human body, even when she doesn't ask, even when she forgets. If she's in pain tonight, I bring that pain to you, not with demands, with surrender, because there are days when the body announces what the soul is carrying. There are aches that aren't just physical. There are kinds of tired that have names we don't have the courage to say out loud. You know every single one of them, and you see them with compassion, not judgment. Tonight, while she sleeps, may her body become a place of restoration, not just rest, but renewal. May the processes that happen during sleep, the ones science can describe, and the ones only you fully understand, work together so that she wakes up tomorrow a little more whole than when she lay down. Father, thank you for the health she had today. Thank you for the protection over her body that she never saw, the accidents that didn't happen, the falls that were prevented, the illnesses that never took hold, the physical dangers that were quietly turned aside before she ever knew they existed. He turned away what she never saw coming. Receive this gratitude, Father. She may not have the words for it, but I offer them in her place. Father, now I bring the people of her day, the ones she loved well, and the ones she loved with difficulty, the ones who helped her without knowing they helped, the ones who hurt her without knowing they hurt her, the ones she thought about throughout the day, with longing, with worry, with frustration, with a love so big it's heavy to carry. Relationships are where most of the invisible dangers happen, not the dangers that make the news, the quiet ones. A conversation that almost broke something it took years to build. A word said out of exhaustion that almost became a permanent wound. A misunderstanding that almost grew past the point of no return. You were in those conversations today. You held back words. You softened tones. You made certain things land differently than they were sent. You created space for forgiveness to be possible before it was even asked for. He turned away what she never saw coming. In relationships too. Father, I thank you for her marriage, if she is married. For the days when love feels easy, and for the days when love is a choice made in exhaustion, and she made that choice anyway. Thank you for the protection over that bond, for the arguments that didn't happen today because someone, you, shifted something in one of them before it ever started. I thank you for her children, if she has them, for the kids she loves with a love that frightens her by its very intensity, for the teenagers and young adults she can no longer protect the same way she did when they were small, the ones she surrenders to you every night because she has no other option, and because deep down she knows you love them even more than she does. Father, tonight, may every one of her children be covered, wherever they are, at home, far away, in situations she doesn't know about, and maybe doesn't want to know. May the same hand that covered her day cover theirs as well. He turned away what they never saw coming. That includes her children. I thank you for her friendships, for the connections that hold everyday life together, the text that came through at exactly the right moment, the coworker who said exactly what she needed to hear without knowing she needed it, the person who simply showed up and made the day a little lighter. Sometimes the instrument of your protection is another human being, and she received that today. I also thank you for the difficult relationships, for the person who got on her nerves, for the one who let her down, for the one who didn't reach out when they should have, for the one who said something she's still turning over in her mind. Because even in those moments of friction, there was protection. There was a line you didn't allow things to cross. There was an invisible break. There was mercy at work in places where she only saw difficulty. And tonight, before she sleeps, may she not carry into bed the weight of every unresolved relationship, as though it's entirely her job to fix it. Some things stay with you. Some conversations can wait until tomorrow. Some reconciliations run on God's timing, not the timing of anxiety. Tonight, just rest. Her relationships are in your hands. The people she loves are in your hands. The people who hurt her are in your hands too. He turned away what she never saw coming, in relationships too. Thank you, Father. Father, now I bring the work, everything she carries professionally, the job, the household, the caregiving that nobody officially calls work, but that takes just as much out of a person as any salaried position. The invisible management that happens within four walls, that the world rarely acknowledges as the real work that it is. The weight of being responsible, of holding it all together, of delivering. She carried that today. And you were in it too. Sometimes work is where the biggest invisible dangers hide. The email she almost sent in the heat of the moment and didn't. The decision she had to make without having all the information, and she made it anyway, while you, who have all the information, were guiding things just beneath the surface. The meeting that could have gone in a completely different direction if just one variable had shifted. You were managing variables she didn't even know existed. He turned away what she never saw coming. At work too. If today was a day of victory, if she delivered something well, if she received recognition, if she made progress on a project that had been stuck, may she receive that gratitude right now, before she sleeps. Don't minimize it. Don't rush past it to the next thing on the list. Stay for a moment in what was good. Father, thank you for what was good in her work today. For what she built, even if it's invisible to everyone else. For the effort that doesn't show up in immediate results, but is being deposited into an account of faithfulness that you see and you keep. And if today was a hard day at work, if the pressure went beyond reasonable, if she felt inadequate or overwhelmed or overlooked, if she made a mistake that's still running laps in her head, then tonight I offer this relief. You do not measure her worth by what she produced today. You never have. A hard day at work does not undo who she is. A mistake does not erase the track record. The pressure she feels is not proof that she isn't capable. It's proof that she's in a demanding arena, and anyone standing in that same arena would feel exactly the same way. And in that arena, protection was at work. There was protection over her reputation that she never saw. There was protection over opportunities that could have slipped away and didn't. There was protection over professional relationships that could have worn thin, and someone, held them together. He turned away what she never saw coming, at work too. Father, tonight may she be able to separate, with clarity, with grace, with your help, what belongs to tomorrow from what belongs to right now. What belongs to tomorrow stays with you tonight. The work that isn't finished, the project still open, the conversation that needs to happen, the decision that still needs to be made, all of it stays in your hands while she sleeps. Because you don't sleep. Because you are already in her tomorrow, preparing the ground, organizing what she cannot organize from here. Tonight her work rests, and she rests from her work. Thank you for every invisible protection that moved through that space today. Thank you for being behind the scenes of a day she may not have recognized as a miracle, but that was full of them. Father, now I bring the money. I know that word can make your chest tighten. Even here, even in this moment of prayer, even lying in bed with your eyes closed, the word money carries weight. It has texture. It has the ability to wake up the anxiety that was almost asleep. So I'm going to be straight with you, Father. The way she maybe can't bring herself to say out loud. She's worried. Maybe not in a full-blown crisis kind of way. Maybe not at a level she'd call an emergency. But there's a calculator running somewhere in the back of her mind that never fully shuts off. That adds and subtracts while she's trying to rest. That runs the numbers on the next 30 days and comes up with a margin that's thinner than she'd like. You know that, and you don't judge her for it. But tonight, I want her to notice something that calculator doesn't track. The provision that came through today, not just what hit her bank account. The invisible provision. The discount that showed up without her even asking for it. The bill that should have been due and wasn't. The unexpected expense that could have blindsided her and didn't. The car that could have broken down today and held together. The appliance that's been running on borrowed time for weeks and made it one more day. The need she doesn't even know she has yet, that you've already started taking care of in a way she won't fully understand for another few weeks. He turned away what she never saw coming, in her finances too. Father, there's a verse you already know I'm going to bring here, not because it's protocol, but because it's a truth that needs to be heard right now, in this moment, by her specifically. Matthew 6:31-32. So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. He knows, not in the vague sense that God is all-knowing, in the specific sense that He knows your account balance. He knows the amount of your debt. He knows the name of who you owe and the due date that's coming up. He knows the need you haven't even put into words yet because it feels too big to bring into a prayer. He knows, and He provided today in ways you didn't register as provision because you were waiting for it to arrive with a label telling you exactly where it came from. But God's provision doesn't always come with a label. Sometimes it comes as a phone call from a number you weren't expecting, as an opportunity that showed up from an angle you weren't looking at, as an idea that crossed your mind while you were washing the dishes, something that seemed small but wasn't. He turned away what she never saw coming, and He is doing that right now for what hasn't come yet. Tonight, Father, may her mental calculator shut off, not because the numbers have changed, but because there is an arithmetic she cannot do. The arithmetic of God's provision, which doesn't follow the rules of human math. That multiplies where she only sees division. That opens where she only sees closed doors. That sustains where she would have sworn there was no way to sustain. Tonight, her finances stay with you, not as an excuse to be irresponsible. She will keep being faithful and careful and wise with what she has. But the anxiety around money, the weight that won't let her rest, the worry that grows louder in the silence of the night, that stays with you, because you are already in her financial tomorrow. And what you prepare, no one can undo. Thank you for today's provision, seen and unseen. Thank you for every financial danger that was turned away before she ever knew it was coming. He turned away what she never saw coming. In her finances too. Thank you, Father. Father, now I want to go deeper, because there is a layer beneath the practical areas: health, relationships, work, finances, where the real fears live. The ones that don't have a category, the ones that don't fit neatly on any list, the ones that show up especially now, when the day is over and there's nothing left to do but lie down and think. She knows these fears. You know them too. And tonight I want to name them, not to feed them, but to hand them over. Because a fear named before God loses some of the power it holds when it stays nameless inside your chest. There is the fear that something bad will happen to the people she loves. This is probably the biggest one. The one that surfaces when her kid hasn't texted to say they got there safely. The one that rises when her husband is on the highway. The one that wakes her up in the middle of the night for no clear reason, but with that heavy feeling that something might be wrong with someone she loves. Father, this specific fear, the fear of loss, the fear that something will slip beyond her control and hurt the people she cannot imagine living without. This fear I bring to you right now, not with a solution, with a surrender, because the truth is, she cannot protect everyone she loves. She never could. And the illusion of control she maintains, the vigilance, the mental checklist, the constant monitoring, isn't real protection. It's anxiety with a system. Real protection comes from you, and you exercised that protection today. Over every person she loves, on every road they traveled, in every moment she didn't see because she was busy living her own day. He turned away what they never saw coming. For the people she loves too. There is the fear about the future, the near future, what happens next week, next month, and the distant future, what life will look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when circumstances shift in ways she can't predict. Father, this fear has a particular quality. It uses her imagination as fuel. It takes what she doesn't know and fills in the blanks with the worst possible outcomes. It turns uncertainty into anticipated catastrophe. And tonight I want to interrupt that process, not with guarantees I don't have the authority to give. With a truth you have the authority to confirm. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. He already knows what you don't know yet. He is already in the future that frightens you. And he says, it is good, not free of difficulty, not without pain, but good, sustained, purposeful, with a way through, with his presence at every turn you can't see from here. He turned away what she never saw coming. In the future too, the future that hasn't arrived yet, but is already covered, there is the fear of not being enough. This one is the quietest, the kind that doesn't announce itself as fear but as self-criticism, as the mental replay of the day, scanning for everything that should have gone differently, as the comparison to other women who seem to handle more, love better, get more done, smile with less effort. Father, this fear is a lie dressed up as self-awareness, and tonight I ask that she hear this clearly, in your voice, not in the voice of self-criticism. She was enough today, not perfect, enough. And there is an enormous difference between those two things that anxiety deliberately erases. She loved with what she had. She did what she could. She held up what was hers to hold, and she tried to hold up some things that weren't, which is not a sign of failure. It's evidence of a heart that cares deeply. That is not weakness. That is her. And you see her fully, without the distortion of self-criticism, without the comparison, through the eyes of a father who knows every one of her limitations and still says, she was faithful today. That is enough. There is the fear of what she doesn't know to be afraid of. This is the most diffuse one. The background anxiety that has no specific object. The unease that exists even when things are objectively going reasonably well. The feeling that something is about to happen, without knowing what. Father, this particular fear is where your promise of invisible protection speaks the loudest, because what she doesn't know to be afraid of, you already know, and you are already turning it away. He turned away what she never saw coming today, and tonight while she sleeps, and tomorrow before she even wakes up. This is the covering she has, not because she deserves a special protection above anyone else, but because she is your daughter, and you protect your children with a love that has no human equivalent, that no metaphor can fully contain, that can only be experienced, exactly as she is experiencing it right now, in this moment, as she releases these fears and feels the weight of them begin to lift. Not because the dangers have disappeared, because she is not carrying the responsibility of facing them alone. He went ahead. She rests. Father, now I want to do something different. I want to go back through her day, not to relive what was hard, but to find your presence in the specific moments that moved too fast to be recognized as grace while they were happening. Because the most powerful gratitude isn't the general kind, it's the specific kind. The kind that can point to an exact moment and say, it was here. It was right here that God was present. It was here that the protection moved. It was here that the detour happened. It was here that the covering was real and tangible, and I almost missed it because I was looking somewhere else. So let's go back, slowly. The morning she woke up today. That is not a given. There are people who don't wake up. There are people who wake up in pain, in crisis, in emergency. She woke up, And even if she woke up with the weight of the day already sitting on her chest, with the alarm going off earlier than it should, with a body that was begging for one more hour, she woke up. And you were there. There was protection over her sleep the night before, over her dreams, over her mind resting, over her body restoring itself. Protection she didn't explicitly ask for but received. And there was protection over the morning, over leaving the house, over the first move of the day that so often happens on autopilot, but never happens without covering. He turned away what she never saw coming. In her morning too, the middle of the day, that moment, you know exactly which one, because it happens somewhere between lunch and late afternoon, when the day asks more of you than you feel like you have left to give, when the energy drops, when the focus fades, when what seemed manageable in the morning starts to feel like too much. She went through that moment today, and something held her through it. Maybe it was a text that came through at just the right time. Maybe it was an unplanned moment of quiet, 2 minutes waiting for the coffee to brew, sitting at a red light, slipping into the bathroom, just to have 1 second, without someone needing something, that gave her more of a second wind than it rationally should have. That was not a coincidence. That was midday grace. He turned away what she never saw coming. In the middle of the day too. The breakdown that didn't happen. The line that wasn't crossed. The reserve that showed up from somewhere she didn't know she had. The end of the day. The shift from what is required to what is chosen. The moment when the formal responsibilities end and what's left is up to her. Sometimes what's left isn't much. Sometimes the end of the day arrives and she is so emptied out that the only thing she has the energy to do is exactly what she's doing right now. Lying down, putting in her earbuds, and handing over everything she couldn't process during the day to a presence larger than herself. And this exact moment, this choice to close the day in prayer instead of in anxiety, is itself a form of protection. It is her choosing, even in exhaustion, to orient her heart toward the right place before she sleeps. Father, thank you for this moment. Thank you for stirring in her, even in the depletion, the desire to end the day here, in your presence, instead of somewhere else. That was protection too. The protection of a heart that still reaches, even when it's tired of reaching. He turned away what she never saw coming. At the end of the day too, and there are moments she can't pinpoint, the ones that went by without her registering them, the ones that happened while her mind was somewhere else, the ones you saw and she didn't, the quiet redirections, the interventions that left no trace, because they were so gentle they felt like a natural part of how the day unfolded. Father, thank you for those moments too, the ones without a timestamp, without a description, known fully only by you. Thank you for the invisible day that ran alongside the visible one, the day of your protection, your provision, your constant presence behind the scenes of every single minute. He turned away what she never saw coming. The entire day, from the moment she woke up to right now, she was covered. Father, now I bring the night itself, this specific moment, this hour, because the night has its own dangers, and most of them aren't physical. The night is when the internal volume turns up, when the thoughts that were kept on hold throughout the day, by the schedule, by the noise, by the constant movement that keeps stillness at bay, finally find room to expand. And they expand, sometimes far beyond what they actually mean. The worry that felt manageable during the day feels catastrophic at night. The doubt that had a reasonable answer in the afternoon feels like a dead end at midnight. The longing that was a bearable weight during the day becomes a presence that fills the entire room after dark. You know this. You created the rhythm of day and night precisely because you understand the difference between what light does to our perception and what darkness does. There is no judgment in the fact that the night is harder. There is compassion, and there is specific covering for the hours of darkness. Psalm 91:5. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day. The terror of night is not only the nightmare that jolts you awake at 2 a.m. It's the thought that spirals at 11 o'clock. It's the obsessive replay of a conversation late at night. It's the worry about your kids, about money, about your health, about the future. Worry that finds in the quiet of the night the perfect conditions to grow larger than it actually is. That is the terror of night. And you have promised specific covering over it. He turned away what she never saw coming, including what is threatening to arrive even tonight, the thoughts already lining up to move in. After she closes her eyes, the anxiety that is waiting for the silence to get louder. Father, tonight I ask for specific covering over her mind while she sleeps, not just over her body, over her mind. May the thoughts that try to enter after her awareness loosens find a barrier, not one built from her own strength, because in sleep she has no strength of her own, but from your active presence over her mind. May her dreams be a place of rest, not anxious processing. May the sleep that comes be deep enough that she wakes up tomorrow actually feeling rested, not just like she spent several hours lying down. Father, there is something beautiful about this moment that I want her to notice before she falls asleep. The fact that you don't sleep. Psalm 121, 3-4. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. While she closes her eyes, you keep yours open. While she rests, you work. While she releases the control that was never fully hers, you hold the control that has always been entirely yours. This is not a poetic image designed to make her feel good before bed. It is a theological reality with practical consequences for the next several hours. It means the night is not a period of unprotected vulnerability. It is a period of active protection under divine watch. It means that whatever happens between now and sunrise, in her dreams, in her subconscious, in the silence of the room, happens under covering. She is not alone in the dark. She never was. And tonight, more than any other night, may she feel that in a way that moves beyond concept and becomes experience. A genuine lightness, a real release, a peace that is not the absence of problems, but the presence of God. He turned away what she never saw coming. Tonight too, while she sleeps, every hour, every minute, every moment when her awareness is gone, but the covering remains. So close your eyes now, not because everything is resolved, because everything is covered, not because the problems have disappeared, because you don't have to stand guard over them tonight, not because you are strong enough to face tomorrow, because He is already in tomorrow, preparing what you will need before you wake up to need it. Close your eyes. The night watch has already begun. Father, now I want to do something we rarely do in prayer. Give thanks for what didn't happen, not in a general way, deliberately. Because there is a difference between saying thank you for protecting me today and actually stopping, really stopping, to consider what that protection means in concrete terms. So tonight I'm going to name it, not because I know exactly what was turned away, but because I know that something was. Because I know that the day has more layers than the surface she lived through. And because naming it, even approximately, even without the precision that only you have, is an act of faith that says, I believe you were working where I wasn't looking. Father, thank you for every accident that didn't happen today. I know that sounds abstract, so let me make it concrete. There is a moment in every drive where the margin between what happens and what could have happened is smaller than any of us realizes. A brake applied half a second before it needed to be. A following distance maintained for reasons that don't entirely come down to the driver's reflexes. An animal that didn't cross the road at that moment. A tire that held. She went through that today, or someone she loves did, and they arrived safely. He turned away what she never saw coming. On the road, on the highway, on every trip back and forth that the day demanded. Thank you for that, Father. For every vehicle that behaved, for every traffic light that worked, for every safe distance kept, for every safe arrival that was received as automatic but had your hand in it. Father, thank you for every illness that didn't take hold today. Her body moves through a world full of agents she can't see and can't control. She touches surfaces, breathes air, interacts with people, and through all of it there is an immune system working without stopping, but one that also has invisible support that goes beyond biology. Today she did not get sick in ways that could have happened. That is never guaranteed. It never is. And that is precisely why it is grace when it happens. When the day ends and the body is tired but intact, worn down but functional, asking for rest but not for help. Thank you for that. For every virus that didn't take hold. For every infection that didn't progress. For every small thing her body encountered and handled. And for every larger thing that simply never reached her. He turned away what she never saw coming. In her body too. Today, Father, thank you for every word that wasn't said. This is one of the most underestimated forms of protection there is. There are words that are always close to the surface, waiting for the right moment of carelessness, the right level of exhaustion, the right provocation, to come out and do irreparable damage. Words that anger manufactures, but that love should never speak. Words that hurt produces, but that wisdom knows not to send. Today, at some point, probably more than one, she was on the verge of saying something that would have cost her dearly, and she didn't say it, maybe through self-control, but probably also through grace, through an invisible interruption, a split second of hesitation that felt like her own, but had an outside source, a word that was swallowed before it got out, because something stronger than the immediate reaction held it back. That was protection over her relationships, over the connections that one unguarded moment could have damaged, over the person on the other side who didn't have to receive what could have been sent. He turned away what she never saw coming, in the words that went unspoken too. Father, thank you for every poor decision she almost made and didn't. I'm not talking about major moral choices. I'm talking about the small ones, the ones that seem neutral in the moment, but carry consequences that unfold over weeks. The impulse buy she put in the cart and removed. The message she typed and didn't send. The route she almost took somewhere and for some reason chose differently. The response she almost gave that would have created a problem that would have taken days to undo. There are decisions that seem insignificant at the time, but carry a weight that only time reveals. And you, who see all of time at once, sometimes guide her hand in the right direction before she even knows a wrong direction was available. That happened today, in ways she won't be able to list, because she didn't recognize them as assisted choices. She experienced them simply as choices, but they were assisted. He turned away what she never saw coming. In her decisions too, the small ones and the significant ones, the ones she recognized as important and the ones she made without a second thought. Father, thank you for every spiritual attack that was stopped before it arrived. This is the layer that most prayers don't address directly, but it exists. There is a battle happening in a dimension that physical eyes cannot reach. There are strategies formed against her peace, against her faith, against her relationships, against her clarity, that never reach their target because there is a barrier that is not built from human effort. She doesn't feel that battle most days. And that is protection too. The fact that most of the arrows aimed at her don't land, and she never knows they were fired, is an enormous mercy that is rarely the subject of gratitude, because it is, by its very nature, invisible. He turned away what she never saw coming, in the spiritual dimension too. Today, while she was living the visible day, there was an invisible battle being won on her behalf, not by her own strength, but by the name that is above every name. She was covered, spiritually covered. And tonight, while she sleeps, that covering is not suspended. It continues, active, consistent, without interruption. Thank you, Father, for everything that was turned away today that she didn't see, for everything that will be turned away tonight that she won't know about, for everything that will be turned away tomorrow before she even wakes up to need the protection. He turned away what she never saw coming, yesterday, today, right now, tomorrow, always. Father, now I want to pause the prayer for a moment, not to leave your presence, to go deeper into it, because sometimes prayer becomes so verbal, so articulate, that we forget the body is here too. That gratitude is not just a mental state, it's something that can be received physically, that can change the tension in your muscles, that can shift the rhythm of your breathing, that can open a chest that's been tight all day. So for a moment, I'm not going to talk about gratitude. I'm going to ask her to receive it. Breathe, not the shallow breathing she's been running on all day, moving from one thing to the next. An intentional breath, slow, one that fills the belly before it fills the chest. Breathe in, and as you breathe in, receive this thought along with the air. He turned away what I never saw coming. Today, in every moment, I was covered. Hold it for a second, and breathe out slowly, letting go, along with the breath, of the weight she no longer needs to carry tonight. The worry she kept compressed all day. The tension that built up in places she doesn't even notice. In her shoulders, in her neck, in her jaw that's been slightly clenched for hours. Let it go. Do it one more time. Breathe in. This time with the awareness that the air coming in is provision, that the ability to breathe without effort is grace, that lungs that expand without pain are protection received. Hold and breathe out, this time with the awareness that what leaves with the breath is what isn't hers to hold on to through the night. The anxiety about tomorrow, the weight of situations that don't have a resolution yet, the control she never really had but tried to maintain anyway. Let it go. Now feel the points of contact between her body and the surface she's lying on, the back of her head on the pillow, her shoulders against the mattress, her back finding support, her legs that carried the weight of the entire day, now resting without demand. The body knows what rest is. It was created for this. The rhythm of waking and sleeping is not human weakness. It is divine design. It is God saying, through the very functioning of the body. There is a time to do, and there is a time to be held. This is the time to be held. She doesn't need to do anything right now. She doesn't need to solve, plan, or review. She doesn't need to be strong, capable, put together, or productive. She only needs to receive. Receive the rest her body is asking for. Receive the peace this prayer has been making room for. Receive the presence that never left, but that can sometimes only be felt when the external and internal noise finally quiets down enough. Father, as her body relaxes, muscle by muscle, tension by tension, may your presence fill exactly the space that the exhaustion releases. Where there was rigidity, may peace enter. Where there was heaviness, may lightness come. Where there was the sensation of holding on tight, may the ability to let go arrive. Not because the problems were resolved while she was breathing, but because the responsibility of resolving them alone was never hers to begin with. He turned away what she never saw coming, and he will keep turning things away while she rests. That is the exchange tonight. She surrenders the watch. He keeps the guard. She closes her eyes. He keeps his open. She rests. He works. This is the arrangement. This is the covenant. This is the mercy that renews itself not only every morning, but every night, in this exact moment, when she chooses to trust enough to sleep. Father, we are coming to the end of this prayer, but before we get there, I want her to hear one thing, just one thing, not a list, not a set of theological truths to process. One sentence, the same one that has carried this prayer from beginning to end, because it needed to be heard more than once to truly land. He turned away what she never saw coming. That sentence is the summary of her day. It is the correct interpretation of every moment that felt ordinary, but had protection built into it. It is the true explanation for why she made it to this moment tonight in one piece. Tired, yes. With unanswered questions, yes. With unresolved situations, yes. But in one piece, covered, held, alive here in this moment, able to breathe and pray and receive peace before sleep. That was not automatic. That was grace. And tomorrow will be grace too. She doesn't know what tomorrow holds, but she knows who is already there. She knows that the same hand that covered today will cover tomorrow, with that same quiet faithfulness, that same invisible protection, that same care that doesn't need an audience to operate. He turned away what she never saw coming. It will happen again tomorrow, and she probably won't see it again. And that too is part of the grace, that the protection doesn't depend on being noticed to be real. That divine covering doesn't require her to be paying attention to work. That God does not protect with strings attached. He protects because of who he is, because she is his daughter, because the love he has for her is not transactional, not performance-based, not suspended when she forgets to give thanks, or when weeks go by without her praying with the depth she feels she should. He protects because he does, because that is what a father does. So tonight, with her eyes closed and her body growing heavier with the good weight of rest, she can fall asleep with this settled in her chest. She was covered today. You carried enough today. Heaven carries it from here. Everything she carried through the day, every responsibility, every worry, every weight she took on with or without a choice, now passes into other hands. Hands that don't grow tired. Hands that don't let go. Hands that have held situations far greater than anything her day contained, and have never once failed. She can let go. Not because letting go is easy, because letting go is the right decision tonight, because holding on won't resolve anything between now and sunrise, because the effort of keeping everything under mental control while her body tries to sleep is an effort that costs everything and returns nothing. Let it go. Let go of the replay of the day. Let go of the compulsive planning for tomorrow. Let go of the conversation that's still running in your head. Let go of the worry about the person you can't stop thinking about. Let go of the fear that's been waiting for the silence to grow louder. Leave all of it here in this prayer, here in this presence, here in these arms that are already open to receive everything she has been carrying. She is covered. She is held. She is not alone. Tonight, this specific night, in this room, in this bed, in this exact moment when sleep is arriving, and she is choosing to receive it in peace instead of in anxiety. She is covered. Father, before she closes her eyes completely, I want her to think about the people, not to worry about them, to release them. There is an enormous difference between thinking about people with anxiety and thinking about people with the intention of placing them in your hands. The first keeps her awake. The second frees her to sleep, knowing they are covered whether or not she is conscious to watch over them. This prayer is the second kind. Father, she has people she loves with an intensity that sometimes frightens her. The love a mother feels for her child has no adequate human parallel. It is a love that never switches off, never takes a vacation, never finds complete rest, because there is always a part of her oriented in the direction of her child, regardless of that child's age, regardless of how many miles exist between them. If she has children, I bring them to you now, by name, the name she knows, and you know too, the child who is doing well, who is sleeping safely tonight, who had a reasonable day, who is in a relatively stable season of life. May she rest about this child tonight without guilt, without the feeling that she should be more worried. He is okay. And being okay is grace, just as much as making it through a crisis is grace. The child who is not doing well, who is going through a hard season, who has made choices she wouldn't have chosen, who is in a place, physically, emotionally, spiritually, that worries her in a way she can't fully put into words. Father, this child specifically, the one she carries with the most weight, I place in your hands right now, not because she is giving up on caring, because caring and controlling are two different things, because the love she has for this child is not enough to change what only you can change, because her vigilance during the hours of sleep will not alter a single circumstance in this child's life, but your presence over his life will. He turned away what that child never saw coming. Today too. Over that child too. Over all of her children. Every one of them. In every season. In every place they are tonight. She can sleep. They are covered. Father, if she has a spouse, I bring that relationship to you now. Marriage has its own layers of invisible protection that are rarely the subject of gratitude because they are rarely noticed. The argument that didn't escalate past the point of no return. The distance that didn't grow enough to become a break. The moment of hardness that was softened by something, exhaustion, distraction, grace, before it became a permanent wound. The difficult conversation that happened at the right moment instead of the wrong one. Thank you for every one of those invisible interventions in her marriage, Father. And if the marriage is hard right now, if there is a distance she doesn't know how to cross, a hurt she doesn't know how to name, a dynamic that is too heavy to be resolved in a single night, then this is the surrender of tonight. She does not need to fix her marriage before she falls asleep. You are in it too. Working in it too. Turning away what could destroy it too. Even when she isn't specifically asking for that. Even when she is so deep inside the problem that she can't see the protection operating around it. He turned away what her marriage never saw coming. She can rest from the effort of fixing what is not meant to be fixed tonight. Father, I bring her parents, if they are still living, and the grief of missing them, if they are not. There is a specific kind of worry that adult children carry for aging parents. The fear of a phone call, the concern over health that is shifting, over independence that is diminishing, over time that is passing in a way she cannot slow down no matter how much she wants to. Father, her parents are in your hands. If they are living, may they also sleep covered tonight. May their health be sustained. May the dangers specific to this season of their lives be turned away with the same invisible faithfulness with which her dangers were turned away today. If they have already passed, may the grief she carries be received by you as the love that it is. May she trust, in a way she doesn't fully understand but can accept by faith, that they are okay, at peace, beyond the reach of any suffering. He turned away what they never saw coming. Over her parents too, in this life or the next. Father, I bring her friendships, the friends who are present, the ones she knows she could call if she needed to, the ones who know the real version of her and not the edited version she shows the world. May those friendships be protected. May time and distance and the busyness of life not wear them down past the point where they can be recovered. May she wake up tomorrow with at least one of those connections intact and available. And the friendships that are strained, the ones she's not sure still exist in the same way, the ones that went through something that hasn't been fully resolved, the ones she misses but doesn't know how to move back toward. Father, those stay with you tonight too, not to be resolved, to rest. She doesn't need to know today what to do with every complicated relationship in her life. She needs to sleep. And tomorrow, with more clarity and more rest, the things that need action will receive action. The things that need time will receive time. The things only you can resolve will be recognized as yours. He turned away what those friendships never saw coming. The falling apart that could have happened and didn't. The misunderstanding that could have become a permanent break and was contained. The silence that could have lasted forever, but still has a door left open. Thank you for tending to her relationships with the same care you tend to her. Father, there is one specific person on her mind right now. I don't know the name. You do. The person who surfaced in her thoughts while she was listening to this prayer. Maybe someone she's been worried about. Maybe someone going through something hard. Maybe someone she has unfinished business with that hasn't found resolution yet. This person, whoever's name is in her mind right now, stays with you too. He turned away what that person never saw coming. They are covered too, even if they don't know it, even if they aren't praying, because her prayer reaches beyond her. It extends to the people she loves and carries, and you receive that intercession and act on it with the same faithfulness with which you act on everything else. She can sleep. Everyone she loves is in the right hands tonight. You don't have to figure it out tonight. Not one relationship. Not one person. Not one situation involving someone she loves. All of it covered. All of it held. All of it in hands that never let go. Father, something happens when gratitude is genuine. Not the performative kind, the kind that gets listed quickly before moving on to the requests. The kind recited out of habit without ever really landing in the heart. Genuine gratitude. The kind that stops. the kind that looks at what it has received and stays with it long enough for the recognition to become something more than intellectual. That kind of gratitude changes something in the atmosphere of the room, in the rhythm of the heart, in the quality of the sleep that is coming. And I want this prayer to produce that gratitude in her, not as the result of effort, but as the natural consequence of having named what was received today, because she received a great deal, more than she realized while she was living it. Father, thank you for this morning, not the ideal morning, the real one, the one she actually had, with the alarm going off at the wrong time, or the right time but still hard, with the coffee that helped or didn't help enough, with the mirror showing a person who is carrying more than she should, but who got up anyway. She got up today. That is more than it sounds. There are people who could not get up today, not out of laziness, but out of weight. The weight of depression that pins you to the mattress. The weight of grief that removes the reason to get out of bed. The weight of news received the night before that completely changed the texture of waking up. She got up with everything she had, or with less than she needed. But she got up, and you were in that movement, in the effort of getting out of bed, in the first step of a day she didn't ask for, but had, in the quiet decision to keep going that happens before any articulated awareness of keeping going. He turned away what she never saw coming, even before she was awake enough to ask for protection. Father, thank you for the small moments today that she probably didn't register as grace. Sunlight that came through a window at a specific angle. The song that came on at the exact moment she needed something other than silence. The smell of coffee. The feel of comfortable clothes. The green light when she was running late. The parking spot that opened up. The line that moved faster than expected. These moments feel too small to give thanks for. But you are in them too, not because you are a God of trivial details, but because you are a God who inhabits the everyday with the same presence you bring to extraordinary moments. Because grace does not reserve itself for the big occasions. Because protection operates in the moments no one will ever mention in a testimony, but that make the day livable. Thank you for the livable moments today, the ones she noticed and the ones that moved past too quickly to catch. Father, thank you for her capacity to feel today. That too is grace, and we rarely treat it as such. The capacity to feel love even when love is hard. The capacity to feel joy, even briefly, even in small amounts. The capacity to feel longing, which hurts, but which is evidence that there are people worth missing. The capacity to feel hope, even thin hope, even underneath a lot of heavy things. She felt today. A heart that feels is not a weak heart. It is a living heart. And a living heart can be renewed, can be comforted, can be filled again when it is empty, can be healed when it is broken. A heart that doesn't feel has none of those possibilities. So thank you for the capacity to feel, for the sensitivity that sometimes seems like a burden, but is actually a gift. He turned away what she never saw coming, including the emotional numbness that could have settled in after everything and didn't settle in completely, because grace sustained her ability to feel even in the middle of the exhaustion. Father, thank you for the faith she still has tonight, because this prayer is evidence of faith. She could have reached the end of this day in silence, without prayer, without seeking your presence, without bringing the day to you before sleep. Many people do, not out of bad intention, out of depletion, out of doubt, out of a season where the distance kept growing, and she didn't know how to close it. She is here. This prayer is proof that faith did not die in the exhaustion. That even when the words come with difficulty, even when focus scatters, even when tiredness competes with attention, there is something in her that still orients toward you. That is faith working, not the spectacular faith of the great moments, the faithful faith of the everyday, that shows up tired but shows up, that prays without eloquence but prays, that seeks even when it doesn't clearly feel the presence it's seeking. Thank you for sustaining that faith in her, Father, for not letting the hard days extinguish it completely, for reigniting what exhaustion tried to dim, for being faithful to her faith, even when her faith was wavering. He turned away what she never saw coming, including the loss of faith that could have happened and didn't. Her faith is here, tonight, in this prayer. That is enormous grace. Father, we have come to the end, not to the end of your presence that has no end, but to the end of this prayer, to this place of conclusion that is not abandonment, not a hurried exit, not one more item on a list that has been checked off. It is arrival. It is the point at which everything that was named tonight, every area, every person, every fear, every expression of gratitude, every invisible danger that was turned away, is laid to rest. Not because it was resolved, because it was surrendered, and surrendered to you is just as safe as resolved. In fact, it is safer, because what you receive does not return to the state of a problem as easily as what she tries to fix in her own strength. What stays with you, stays. So tonight, before she sleeps, she makes one final declaration, not as a formula, as a real choice, made in exhaustion, made in incomplete faith, made with hands that are still learning to let go. I am okay. Not because everything around me is okay, because you are with me on the inside. I am protected, not because the dangers don't exist, because you turned away the ones I didn't see, and you will turn away the ones still coming. I am at rest, not because my body isn't tired, it is, but because the weight that was never mine to carry I have left here. In this prayer, in these hands that are larger than anything I tried to hold on to today. Father, the last thing I ask tonight is not a list, it is a presence. May she fall asleep feeling that she is not alone in the room. Not as a religious thought she talks herself into having, as a real experience of accompaniment. The sense that someone is keeping watch. That the silence of the room is not empty but full. Full of a presence that does not grow tired, that does not get distracted, that does not doze off. Close your eyes. The night watch has already begun. He is on guard. She can rest. May the sleep that comes be the kind that restores not just the body, but something deeper. The part of her that carries the most honest version of her worries. The part that doesn't show up in the conversations of the day but exists. And that needs rest, just as much as her muscles and her bones do. May she wake up tomorrow with at least 1 degree more clarity than she had today. With at least 1 degree less anxiety than she carried through this day. With the memory, even if faint, even if not put into words, that tonight she did not sleep alone. That she woke up covered, as she has always been covered. He already handled what you haven't even prayed about yet. Tomorrow is already being prepared while she sleeps. The situations she doesn't yet know she'll face already have provision. The people she will encounter tomorrow have already been accounted for. The decisions that will need to be made already have wisdom available. She just needs to get there. And to get there, she needs to sleep. So sleep. She is covered. Tonight. In this room. In this bed. In this exact moment. She is held by the hands that hold the universe together and still have room for her specifically, for her weight, for her name. She is not alone. She never was. She never will be. Not tonight. Not on any other night. Father, thank you for this day that is ending, for every danger that was turned away before it arrived, for every invisible protection that moved in silence while she lived the visible day, for every moment of grace she didn't recognize as grace. But that was, for this moment right now, this space between the end of the day and the beginning of sleep, that she chose to spend in your presence. That was not a small thing. You did not treat it as small, and neither should she. He turned away what she never saw coming today, and he will turn it away again tomorrow, because that is what he does, because that is who he is. Good night. Sleep in peace. You were covered today, and you will be covered again tomorrow. Amen.